Talking lobster.
Oh, good.
Talking lobster.
All right, Brian.
Go ahead, I'm sorry, yeah.
All right, we have goaltender Ava McNaughton here. Questions for Ava?
For the first weekend, how did you kind of assess things for you? And was it just good to see somebody else on the other side after months and months of your own teammates?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's always nice to get the first one under your belt. Nice to do it at home too, to have the people all supporting your team and cheering you on. It's always nerve-wracking getting that first save. Just kind of get the season rolling, and happy with how it turned out.
You start back-to-back games, back-to-back days until late last year. How is that affecting your preparation now that you've done it once this year, and how it's making you think about the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think it's definitely just kind of putting into perspective, just kind of making sure you're taking care of your body throughout the whole week. Obviously, practices are pretty intense. I feel like a lot of people don't realize that practice is a lot harder for goalies than a game is, even though like games are 2 hours long, but practices are just super intense. So just making sure that, I'm taking care of school, hockey, and taking care of my body when I have time, so I'm ready for the weekend and able to perform 2 nights in a row. Honestly, no. I kind of do the same thing both times. I get there. We do a 2-hour and a 3-hour bus. I take the 3-hour bus both times normally. I just like to be there early. It kind of gets me in the zone. Even though I'm pretty lighthearted before the game. I'm a little quiet, but not like, your stereotypical goalie. But I feel like it's just easier to kind of have that consistency between both nights.
You talked about your physical health and maintaining that. Goaltender is maybe the most mentally taxing because if you feel you're in a rut, it can be such a challenging spot to get out. So what have you learned throughout your years in that position to kind of maintain your ability mentally when you go into a contest?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really difficult. It's obviously, I'd say, the hardest thing that we go through that's really, really behind the curtains. Obviously, players deal with it too, but I always think about, like, you can always see when the goalie makes a mistake. Like, everybody sees it when the goalie makes a mistake, but whereas a player, they might kind of fly under the rug a little bit. So it's kind of just, when you look back at the game, you realize, like, okay, like, this is the string of things that led to that goal or led to that mistake. And it really helps to, be older and kind of a little more mature. Obviously, I'm still pretty hard on myself, but just kind of being able to rationalize with yourself and then, take a couple things away from that game and learn, and then put it into practice, and then hopefully make a couple adjustments into the game. I'd say just being more comfortable with the speed of the game. Obviously we practiced, the whole year. It's number 1, number 2 team in the country. So it's nice to have that speed in practice every day, so you're prepared for the best and then able to kind of figure it out in the game depending on how the speed of the game is going. But I'd say also just having that experience through the playoffs and the NCAA championships, it was just really helpful to just be more confident and feel like I deserved it and like I earned that spot. And so just like having the support of the coaches and obviously the team behind you is really comforting, a sense of confidence there. So I'd say between that and feeling more comfortable on the ice, just kind of help my play throughout the off season and then hopefully through the year too.
First road trip of the season, kind of what are the challenges of flying away from Bonn, especially for the freshmen? Kind of how do they figure that out, but also the excitement level of going into somebody else's place and coming out with them.
Yeah, I think it's obviously a fun time, that first road trip, especially we get to fly the first time. It's always a fun experience for everybody, but especially the freshmen. We get to take a private plane and go in these little airports, and it's a cool little experience. And obviously Boston College is great rink, kind of historic arena, so it'll be fun to play there and see what they've got going this year. But I mean, honestly, I think it's kind of it's relatively the same playing on the road, playing at home. Obviously the fans are a little different, and the crowd itself is kind of differs from place to place, but I think it's all about kind of keeping it within the glass, and if you could do that, I don't think that it matters too much where you play. So it's kind of something you learn along the way, I'd say.
Some different places, different sports, you see a team go to number 1 and all of a sudden there's this big, celebration or, you know, plan the parade or whatever. When it happens here, it's just kind of like home home and on to the next thing. Is that just the mentality of what's around here that you just kind of, whatever the number is there, you go on with it?
Yeah, I'd say obviously everyone comes here knowing like what they're walking into. It's very historically incredible program. Obviously kind of move around 1, 2, 3, whatever. I feel like a lot of people don't really look at it, or if they do, they see it and kind of goes in one ear, not the other. But I mean, everyone plays their best game when they play against us, no matter what number we are. So you always know that you're going to get the best out of any team you play. So I feel like it's not really something that is in the forefront of our minds during the weekend or the week even.
You'll spend a lot of time together with each other during the season, and then you're asked to leave for a period of time and come back. How challenging is it for you to be away from your teammates for that amount of time? And how excited were you to get back and officially start the season this past week?
Yeah, it was really nice. We spent a lot of time here over the summer, obviously, so it's kind of unique in that aspect. Not every program gets to do that, so you kind of get to bond with your teammates a little extra over the summer, and especially bring in the freshmen and the transfers and everything. Because we have a little extra time with no school, and you almost feel like a pro hockey player. You're just kind of here playing hockey and lifting and getting like your physical preparation done, and then you get to go out and enjoy the summertime and hang out with people. So it's nice, obviously, in that regard, but we're only gone for probably 2 or 3 weeks, but it feels like a really long time. Obviously, we had like a couple of national camps that happened during that time, so you're around a couple of different hockey crowds. So being in that crowd and then coming back to like almost like your home crowd is nice, just because you know where your people are and the dynamic of our group.
Obviously, you put a lot of effort into like physical preparation. Does your team as a whole take any efforts to mentally prepare together for such high-stakes competition?
I'd say everyone kind of has their own mental preparation. Obviously, kind of varies person to person. I wouldn't say we really do anything fully as a team together, because it's just such a personal journey. But I mean, I feel like my teammates are just very open to have harder conversations, or if you need a helping hand or a listening ear, they're always there. So I'd say in that regard, absolutely, like people are always there to help you out in any way they can. So in that regard, yes. But everyone's very on their own, I'd say, for the most part. So some superstitious, some routines, but some blurred lines there. So.
Are you on the less superstitious side if you're not a goalie? Does that kind of take you away from that?
Yeah, I'd say I've always tried to be pretty flexible in what I do before a game, just because anything can happen, and you might not be able to get everything done in the exact order you want it to happen in. Like one time last year, against Ohio, we had to go all on one bus 2 hours before because we had to get the police escort or whatever. So you're not able to have that extra hour at the rink. So being kind of flexible and able to feel confident in your preparation, no matter what the pregame looks like, is really important. So I think just having that confidence that I know I'm able to play well if I misstep my routine is really important. But I used to be pretty superstitious, and then I realized, maybe I need to figure this out. So, yeah, but we definitely have some major superstitious people, and then some people who are just play better when they're loose and just kind of go with the flow. So,
Who's the worst superstition? Worst is a bad term.
Yeah.
Who's the most superstitious?
I would say Sims, probably. Sims, yeah, I'd probably say Sims for sure. She just has a bunch of little quirky things that she does all the time, and she's kind of running around trying to get them all in, but it works for her. So I mean, you can't question it. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks a
Yeah,
lot.
absolutely.
Have fun on Easter.
Thank you. Yeah, I will.